Hi, this is Mike Furtis, Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas,
America.
We got everybody that time. So we want to talk some more about the movies, and I know some of you guys had some questions and some things you wanted to bring up as well. So let's go there.
All right, this is terrific. I did not know about this. How I missed this for the last 6 years. I'm so sorry. I did.
It's a great town, but it's hard to get the word out
But
in. You know?
Night of the Living Dead. You got me for King Kong and Night of the Living Dead. And
Great.
Probably
We
Jaws
can go-
too.
yeah.
Let's see Jaws, man.
I have to see the Night of the Living Dead on the 30th, so we could go together.
That would work for me. I want to underscore how you find this fine gentleman, leafjonkers at
Yonker.
Gmail.
Yonker.
Everybody
Leifjonker at gmail.com.
You can email me
Now,
or find me on Facebook.
This is in caps. It doesn't have to be, though, I don't think.
No.
Either way. All right, so that's how you get a hold of Leaf over here. Or Wichita Big Screen, all one word.com. And the Facebook.com groups plural, / Wichita Big Screen. But find him on Facebook.
Yeah, just go to Facebook and search Wichita Big Screen. You'll find us. And I'm the only guy who posts. That's not true anymore, but you'll find me easily.
I remember when Wichita Big Screen, we were searching to get 100 members.
All right, we broke 100.
That's a big deal.
Then we broke 500.
And now we're 2,000.
And every time we do this, I say, we really need like 500 people. And then we get 500. We really need 1,000 people. We get 1,000. We just broke 2,000. Like, guys, we really need 5,000 if we're going to make a difference and get the word out in town.
I'll continue.
Okay, go ahead.
A couple sponsors should be thanked. The Anchor, that's the restaurant, not a thing on your boat.
And that's a family restaurant. My wife and daughter both have celiac disease. And so there's only a few restaurants we can eat in town, and they actually have wonderful gluten-free selections. So we love the Anchor. I just took my toddler there for a meeting, and he loved the Anchor. The energy there, it's a great place.
I'm thinking the one on Douglas, right?
Yeah, that's the Anchor. Yeah.
World Studios ICT.
It's a brand new sponsor. What's wonderful this year is a lot of our sponsors were people I went out and found. They are fans. People who've been coming to the festival for a number of years, and they heard that we were having trouble because we need to print. For the longest time, the Warren only budgeted $250 to promote the entire fest, and they'd only budget for 4 films. So me finding sponsors for years was to pay not only for more movies, but for more expensive movies. Sometimes like Dawn of the Dead cost twice what a normal film would cost, over twice. And so to show it, I had to give them some money, and then. We also, like 1 year alone, or last year alone, I think we spent $800 plus on just printing banners and posters. So we needed more money than what the Warren had, or had budgeted. So that's why we find sponsors. This year, it's like all friends, people who have been attending. They've heard that we needed help, and they called me.
Group them together: Regal Cinemas and the Warren Theater.
Yeah, still called the Warren Old Town. It's still the Warren, and it will be for 10 years, even though it's Regal.
All right, signlab.net.
Sign Lab's been doing these wonderful, like 6-foot-long banners for us, vinyl banners, and full-size one-sheet posters. It's a great company.
Petroleum Club. Been there.
Have you been to Petroleum? I just been there the first time the other day when toured. The new general manager is named Dana. She has been going to the festival for like 4 years, or maybe more. And she's a big film fan, not just horror. She likes all types of movies. And she heard we were needing help, and she called me. And
great. Last time I was there, wedding reception. Great view of the city.
That's the thing.
Great view of the city.
They have a private club that anybody can join, but it's a private dining club that they do lunch. What it's really wonderful for, though, is special events. Right. And I went up there and looked, and were you there at night? Did you see like
the Sutton building?
Yeah, it's all glass.
I'll tell you a story about how I almost bought that before they got it.
They had a 9-story atrium, of just glassed-in area that you can look down the streets, but out the east side, it's Wichita all the way to the horizon. And I was like, at nighttime, this has to be wonderful.
It's beautiful
city streets and the building lights, it had to be beautiful.
And finally, 104, the Fox Classic Rock Radio.
Yeah, they just jumped on board our second year and have been with us ever since, and they help us get the word out. And, I listen to classic rock, so and I figured other cats my age had to probably listen to classic rock too. Maybe it's a good place to advertise our festival.
Yeah.
You got a favorite movie, Andy?
Looking at all this, there's so many here that I hadn't seen. I had not seen. The double feature that we mentioned with you know, with the cat people in Videodrome there. I've not seen Suspiria, obviously, not seen. I'm excited to see those.
We know James Woods is a good old conservative guy, don't you?
Exactly, absolutely. Yeah, see. And the question I have for you is, I know that how difficult it was to get some of these,
Yeah.
and how hard it not only got to get the license, but the originals and be able to work with all these different companies and so on and so forth. Which is awesome, and kudos to you to do that. Already looking towards next year, are there any particular that you really want to try and get to try and actually allow that may be exclusive, kind of like what you got with Suspiria?
Well, it depends. We don't know what's going to be announced between now and then as far as these special restorations. But one thing, you know, we're going to get to is that there are other events also happening in Wichita, and some of them I have a thumb in the pie with. I've been working with the Starlight Drive-In. We just did 2 programs. One of family films. We showed The Goonies and Never Ending Story, and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and that went through the roof. They had cars up and down. The traffic was backed up past the freeway on hydraulic, and it took people like half an hour to get into the drive-in. And then we showed a kind of family scary. You know, it was supposed to be for October because of weather, though. We wanted to be sure it was decent weather, so we moved everything forward to September. And then we showed what did we show? Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And Mars Attacks and Gremlins. Gremlins and Beetlejuice, and then Mars Attacks. And I picked Mars Attacks because it's partially filmed in Wichita, you know, and it's a fun movie. And then in October 6th and 7th, Friday and Saturday, we are showing the original Evil Dead, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the original Phantasm.
Not for kids.
A lot of people don't know J.J. Abrams, the guy who just directed the first new Star Wars movie, and he's a famous
Lost for TV.
director, producer. Yeah. He loves Phantasm. It's a personal favorite. In fact, he named a character the Silver Stormtrooper, Captain Phasma. It's because it's chrome, and in Phantasm, there's this silver chrome ball that has these spikes that come out of it and stick in your head. And he said he thought it looked like that. It reminded me of the sphere, so he named it Phasma as a nod to Phantasm. He actually did the restoration of Phantasm. While they're doing the special effects in his company for Star Trek and Star Wars, you know, they had only so many billable hours. Everything's budgeted down to the teeth. So his guys would work the hours they could work, and then as a volunteer, they did it literally as a volunteer. In their off hours, they would bring out the files for Phantasm and start cleaning frame by frame. And they did a restoration on Phantasm that most companies would never be able to afford, like the high end, like what the Wizard of Oz would get. So that's an immaculate, beautiful transfer. Texas Chainsaw is the same way. When we showed it a couple of years ago, it is such a fine grain transfer. You can read the license plate on the van the kids are driving at times. You can never do that before. So anyway, the distributor for Evil Dead is somebody I've worked with a few times. He just emailed me the other day and said, "Is there any chance we can get in on the next festival?" And I said, "Absolutely." You know, because of the time frame this was put together, we had to book with studios, bigger films as much as possible. But next year, we're hoping to expand and showing taking the original Evil Dead nationwide. That'd be wonderful. That'd be awesome.
I think one of the reasons that people really need to go become a part of Wichita Big Screen is because it's not just the Horrorfest during the month of October. These guys are doing films all year round. When I saw the original Gojira,
the original version of Godzilla.
That was not during Halloween. I don't
No,
know.
that was July, I think, June or July.
So they're doing movies all year round, and you find out about some of those things. There's some perks that go with it on occasion, depending on how active you are and if you follow through with what you're supposed to. And I won't mention any of that, but everybody needs to really go to Wichita Big Screen to become a part of that, because even if Leaf and his crew's not doing the movie, I bring this up all the time. The Augusta Theater, I want to take my granddaughter to see the Ghost of Mr. Chicken. And I even advocated, why don't we get the Ghost of Mr. Chicken for Wichita Horror Fest? And he said, well, we're not doing it, but they're doing it over here at Augusta. And so they promoted it.
That's right. You did actually request it for the festival.
I did request it, yeah.
And I said, well, you know what? as luck would have it.
Yeah, and I think that particular year that they hosted it, Don Knotts' daughter was in town doing a thing for them when they did it.
Oh.
But they don't just promote just their films, but other films as well. But they do bring in films other times throughout the year.
Speaking of Augusta, they also do special things. They had a whole weekend, or a Saturday devoted to Back to the Future. Yeah. And they actually brought in a DeLorean, and they actually had not a parade, but they closed off the street and had a picnic and all this, these Marty McFly lookalike contests, and they showed all 3 movies. It was a wonderful event, and people took pictures of them, getting into the DeLorean, and it was great. I actually just got an email 2 hours ago from them saying, "Hey, can you help promote? Can you post about
Western?
the dinner with Duke?
Yeah.
With dinner with the Duke." And I haven't even gotten into it. I said I'll post it tonight, so check Wichita Big Screen tonight if you're interested in John Wayne movies. But apparently they're doing some type of dinner, and they do that a lot, where you have a dinner and dessert, and then watch the movie, or little events, and they're fundraisers usually. It's a not-for-profit. They're restoring that theater still. If you're old enough to remember the Crest Theater on East Douglas. It's a wonderful theater. I actually filmed in it for my little horror movie. It was one of the last times they were open. The very last movie they were showing was, I think, John Belushi's Wired biography. But it's a wonderful old theater, and unfortunately we lost it, so I think it's a parking lot now. But the Augusta is like a slightly smaller version of the Crest. They have beautiful murals. They have the split. It's not like really a balcony as much as the back. It's like a raised, you go up a staircase to a raised level. It's kind of like a balcony.
Well, and then they'll give you tours. They have one of the original, still in use, old projectors that they'll give you a tour of the film room as well.
We could do an entire show.
Oh,
on it.
yeah,
On
we
the
need,
Augusta.
and we
Well,
need
they-
to do one.
Augusta
But
Theater.
they
It's
do
an
have
absolutely amazing
etched
place.
glass doors. I mean, it's beautiful Art Deco. But anyway, they are doing something, and we always try to help them out, promote their stuff. So look for that. We'll be putting that on Wichita Big Screen. I guess that won't be tonight, but you can still look on Wichita Big Screen later. Too.
Oh, yeah, you can look tonight. It'll be up by then.
Yeah,
The- the-
that's
the-
true.
The credit is though that you're willing. It's not about. This is my impression. It's not about you making these movies happen. It's about your love of movies and promoting whoever's doing it, and you've taken that extra step to do some things on your own in the process.
Yeah, that's how it started. I just really love movies, and like you said, as a fan, I've been frustrated, particularly when you find out after a movie has shown. So what I've tried to create with Wichita Big Screen is just a central news hub that people can go to and check once a week and see what's going on in the area. And we're probably going to be starting another page. This because it's getting kind of cluttered with all the Horrorfest stuff, but right now it's the main page. We have Wichita Big Screen at the group on Facebook. We also have WichitaBigScreen.com. The thing is, when a lot of people, I just sometimes will say, well, you kind of make this about you. And when the first year we did the festival, I called the Eagle and tried to get a story, and they wanted a picture of me for the article. And I said, well, it's really not about me; it's about the movies. And the writer at the Eagle, her exact words like, "Leaf, if this article isn't about you, we don't have an article. We don't need this to give away the Warren free advertising." But the fact that I really did rally to make the festival happen, and there's a last minute thing that first year. They had already scheduled something, and they were going to. How much time we got?
We're about out.
Oh, okay.
Finish her up. We're on
Okay.
now.
It was literally October already when they called me. They had lost the schedule, and I scrambled at the last minute and pulled 4 movies together. The very next day I had posters up. The very next day I had a trailer running at the theater. So in 3 days we had put together a film festival, and she said, "That's a story." And so I do kind of step out. I'm actually a bit of a recluse, but I will step out to promote the festival.
All of this benefits Lifeline Animal Placement and Protection.org.
Lap animal.
Come see a movie.
Yep. You can go to Wichita Big Screen to find out information, or Regal Cinemas, and buy your tickets now. So
Nice to
I want
meet
to thank you for coming.
Good to meet
This
you.
has been Real People, Real Life with a guest from Wichita Big Screen and the Wichita Horrorfest. My buddy
Thank
Lee
you
Young
for
over
having
there.
me
Oh,
so
you're
much,
always
brother.
welcome. Always
Very
welcome.
appreciate it.
So
Thank
thanks
you.
for watching. Everybody have a great day. God bless.